Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 13th installment of the past Facebook Live pop-up expert. Is actually is a series of that past provide that everyone able to in touch with the people who are actually working in the specific part of the Microsoft tools, and that's a Q&A things that actually you can able to ask your question. So in this series, I'm here. So if you have any question about Microsoft AI, how we can use Microsoft AI for different purposes, and also about the machine learning and AI, and how we can go through this field, and other question related to that one. So please, if you have any question, please type in the comment area, in the below, and I can answer them through that. About me, I'm Leila, Microsoft AI and Data Platform MVP based on Auckland, New Zealand, and I'm actually active in Power BI and AI from 2000 kind of 14, 15, and I'm working in this area for a while and do training, consulting, and also speaking in this area. Okay, so let's start with the first. We can start with the first question. Okay, so community question. What is a different approach we have in machine learning, such as supervised learning or unsupervised learning? So there is always a question that what is the difference between them? And there is a question that how we can understand the question that our company has is supervised learning or unsupervised learning. In a technical business, also we call them as a descriptive analysis for unsupervised learning and predictive analysis for supervised learning. So that means that for the supervised learning or predictive analytics, we made that it's about you are going to find a pattern on the current of your data and predict based on that pattern couple of later, for example, months or couple of later day or the other. So you, based on the pattern that exists in your current data, you're going to predict the future. So here is mostly about the prediction, and this prediction can be about predicting a specific value like a linear, or it can be about the grouping, predict a group of value, like people stay with me or leave our company, or can the customer rate me high or low. These are predictions, so they are going to find a pattern, and based on that pattern, we are going to predict the future. The other one that we have is unsupervised learning or descriptive analysis. So descriptive analysis, we are not going to predict. We just want to see the natural behavior of our data, natural behavior of our customer purchase, and natural behavior of how we can group our customer into the different area. So these are the two different questions that we have, and you can in your business you can define both of them. So for example, you can say, I want to see the behavior of my customer. Also, I want to predict this customer stay with me next month or next year or not. So this is mostly about that one. So the other one that we have is about, can you explain AI and machine learning and the difference between them? So this is a common question that I'm having, speaking that I'm doing, and the kind of other one that I have. So there is a difference. AI is an umbrella term for machine learning. So when we talk about machine learning, AI is a umbrella term. AI can be not just machine learning, it can be expert system, can be a robot that's actually able to detect the area and based on the things happen in the environment, respond to that. So machine learning is part of the AIs, and we call it as an umbrella term for that one. So machine learning just learn from the pattern that exists in the data and able to predict or provide some explanation. Okay, so the other one, the other question that here. What is the main purpose of doing machine learning? So, what is the main purpose of doing machine learning? So, this is a really important one that we should consider. Sometimes we do, the question that we have is really important. Uh, Sometimes the problem that we have is not about machine learning. For example, I have a customer that we are going to kind of, they are in a farming area and they want to find out what is the base size of the box for the fruit so they can maximize the number of the fruit that they put in the box and minimize the cost. So this one, I'm not saying that not possible solving with machine learning, but mainly is the optimization problem. So the purpose of machine learning is actually just find the pattern in the data, and based on that is able to kind of find, predict that. So some things about optimization or other things is not kind of, so not all of the machine learning, not all of the question that we have can be fit in machine learning area. Also, there are some things that actually some misleading. For example, they do analysis the data. For example, doing some analytics using Power BI or the other, they are not considered. They can be, some parts of them can be considered as machine learning as a descriptive, but most of them is just analyzing the data. So when you're analyzing the data, you just try to see the data from different perspective. Is not always is about finding the natural behavior or prediction. So this is a difference that we have between the concepts of machine learning. The analytics on data to see the current situation better and providing the visualization to shows that what is the current state can help machine learning, but they are not machine learning. So this is a difference, but they can help each other. So always in machine learning, I'm always recommend that first look at the current state of the data using lots of chart to analyze it, and then based on that you're able to say this is actually what you need to do. Is it you need to do prediction or the other? Okay, so the other one that we have is, okay, yeah, that's another common question that we have. What is the difference between R and Python, and which one I should choose? So they are coming from two different backgrounds. So R is actually comes from the language named S language. That was the statistic language, and actually that's come from academic people. So people who do data analysis, they create that. And so R has been created in University of Auckland by Ross, and they are using that for analyze the data, and it's really good. So for some analysis of the data, you just have one line of the code, but if you want to do that in Python, sometimes you need to write more line, and it's become a bit more complicated. In other side, Python comes from the people who do programming. They actually they are, I think so they are based in Netherlands, if I'm not wrong. So it's actually this person, he's now working as a Google. So this comes from the programming. So if you see that people who comes from background of C# or SQL programming, they can better understand Python, because Python is for developer. So this is the nature of the language. So Python, for people who do programming, is so familiar, they can read the code easily. But for people who come from a statistical background, maybe R is kind of better to interact. This is from the structure. So about the difference that they have about the usage. So there is always a competition that, yeah, you should use R or you should use Python. I can say that let's see that which one you are more comfortable. So for both of them, you can do a statistical analysis. You can do analyze the unstructured data. Unstructured, I mean image, voice, and the other data that is not in the tabular format or in a regular format that we are analyzing. So yes, Python has more libraries on deep learning and neural network, but again, you can use that libraries in R. So for example, there is a cross or TensorFlow that we have in Python, but you can also, with some conversion, you can use it in R. So they are kind of pros and cons with each other, but they are kind of the same. So see which one of them is good for you if you want to start to learning R and Python, and just keep with that one. And you can, and after a while, for example, I'm a start from R. I was an R person, but after a while I find that, okay, yeah, for some scenarios like text analytics, maybe I also need some Python, so I'm start to learn Python. And now I can see, yeah, for some scenarios I'm more comfortable to R, some scenarios more Python. And after a while, you learn one of them to switch between them for machine learning purpose, because the concepts and process of machine learning is the same. And for data analysis, I'm not recommend to use them, because you can easily do it in Power BI, in Power Query, or even SQL. You can do data cleaning, visualization, and the other. But for machine learning, I think if you learn one of them, should be really good to switch between the other. Okay, so let's go for the other one. The other question that we have about the one. Does Microsoft have any machine learning and AI tools? Yes. So Microsoft started from 2014. So when I'm actually presenting in, not in Microsoft conference, but in other conference, they all also ask me that what is the difference between the what Microsoft AI tools we have. So Microsoft start kind of very seriously from 2014. Start with some cloud application, cloud data scientist tools. That was Azure Machine Learning Studio. So that's a start. But after that, you see lots of changes. So if I want to categorize the Microsoft AI tools into categories about pre-built AI and custom AI. So I will talk about it later on. So Microsoft provides tools that you can use in cloud applications like Azure. So if you have your infrastructure is Azure, you can use drag and drop tools. You can, if you have, doing Python or R, you can use Azure Machine Learning Studio and Azure Machine Learning Services that actually has connected to the Azure notebook. You can use automated machine learning. If you're writing R and Python and you are using, for example, data lake, you're also able to embed your code in Azure data lake analytics. So in the USQL, you can embed your code. So, and also Databricks. One of the interesting one was Databricks, as actually you can do all of the data transformation and the other things in the Spark and running in the different virtual machine. And also you can write R, SQL, Scala, and SQL at once, and then schedule your process. So in cloud we have lots of things, and also in the on-premises we have. So if some companies, they not allowed to go to cloud, so, or they have a hybrid kind of thing, so you're also able to do that. So we have able to write R and Python in different scenarios, in SQL, in the Power BI, and in .NET. I'm not anymore a .NET developer that much, but still that's possible. So you see that, and also this is about the coding. You also access to lots of non-coding that we call it as a pre-built AI. Okay. What are some of common problem issues you encounter in machine learning? Yep. So there are kind of different things. So the first thing is about the right data. We don't access. So for the people, I'm in touch with data science people. I'm in touch with the people who knows data cleaning, but they want to do machine learning. So from different perspective, for the people who comes from actually the data science part and they know the algorithm. The huge problem that they have is about working with data, collecting data, bring the data in a good, and how to wrangle the data. So this is the first thing. So always not data is good. So I always recommend to access to the good data resource and create the model based on that. So good data. Another one is about what factor impact on my for example, if you do this supervised learning, what factor impact more on supervised learning that I'm doing? What column, what attribute I should more consider? That's a really challenging one. That's we call it as a feature selection. That means that which feature we need to choose and how they are actually impact on the final result. That's also challenging because finding that one, and also we need to eliminate the one that has impact on each other. They talking, for example, you have two columns that they talk about the same thing. You need to ignore that one. So these are the one that we have. Another challenge that I can see is about the selection of the model. So which model better works for my data set? What is the how I can set the parameter of the model? So yes, there are some rules for some algorithm, like for example, for clustering to identify the number of the cluster, we have some approach, like we call it as the elbow chart, or there are some approach, but not always we able to apply that approach, and not always our data is good enough. So we need to do some hyper parameter modeling that actually we have and can help us through that. So these are the another one. And of course how we can present to the people, so to showing that is another, but I think feature selection, choosing the best data that we have, and also tuning the parameter and the model that we have is really matter. Cool. So go to the another one. Yep. So about the AI and tools in SQL Server, or I can say on premises that we have, you can embed R and Python. So if you are a data scientist or you have a data scientist team, they can embed their code into SQL and also write their code in Power BI, and also kind of do that one. So that's a possibilities that we have. Another possibility is that, for example, they create a model in Azure Notebook or in SQL, in Azure Studio and the other. So they are also able to kind of create the model and then embed that one into SQL or Power BI desktop. So both approaches possible. Okay, to the next question. Yeah, I kind of explained that one. What is the AI learning tools that I have access on Azure Cloud? So we have the Databricks, we have Azure Machine Learning Studio, Azure Machine Learning Services, we have Cognitive Services, and also you can embed your R and Python code in your Azure Data Lake Analytics. So these are the one. Also Bot Framework and the other. This is the things that I'm using. Also virtual machine, you have access to the Azure machine, the virtual machine for the data scientists that actually install all of the required software. Okay, and the other one, oh yeah, custom AI and pre-built AI. So we regard to custom AI the one that we need to know the process of the machine learning, and we regard to the pre-built AI the one that we do not need to, we just consume that. So we have cognitive services, for example, that we call it as a pre-built. You can embed that in the Power Apps, for example, in Microsoft Flow, in your Power BI, or in your SQL, or in other application. So you do not need to know anything about R, about writing R scripts or Python scripts or machine learning. You just embed them. The other one is actually the one that you need to know about that. So like R, Python, or Azure Machine Learning. So we call it as a custom AI and pre-built AI. So the other one we have about 10 minutes to go. If I want to use machine learning in my tools without knowing that much about it, where you would you recommend to start? So you want to start with machine learning and know how it works. So I'm not doing any course in university. I was a self learner. So to start, I'm start from reading the books. So I start from the books that actually they really easy explain. There was a book from Pack Publishing that I really love that one. That was about how we can do machine learning in R, and it doesn't explain anything about the statistics. So because that time I didn't start from, I have a background, I learned some statistic before, but that one really easy explained. So I start from that one. Then I feel that, okay, to improve the algorithm, I need to know the backbone about the algorithm. So I'm gonna start to search and to learn how to write R and Python. I'm gonna start with just public website using data camp, blog, and just very big community we have in R. So I using that one, and so that's a community that we have. So lots of website now available. EDX we have, or actually provide lots of them, and lots of people that are actually doing about R and machine learning. Myself also have a couple of books about that. That's if you're interested, we can share with you. The other one that is question is about what is Azure Machine Learning Studio and what is the difference between Azure Machine Learning Services? Yes, the name is sometimes similar to each other. So Azure Machine Learning Studio is back to 2014. It's a drag and drop environment. So many of you heard about that. So it's actually really good tools, mostly for creative fast prototyping, and also start with machine learning. I really recommend that one because you can see most of the process that we do in machine learning without writing any code. And so that's a one. But Azure Machine Learning Services, and another service that we have in Portal, in Azure Portal, it has different component. It has a component that you can write your own Python code and you easily deploy it in a DevOps ML, and you can deploy it to the other tools. It has the automated machine learning that actually help you to applying different models. So for example, you said I want to do classification, and it has a list of the good algorithm for classification problem, and it's automatically going to apply the model on your data. And after that, that is apply, is actually going to do hyperparameter tuning. That means that it's going to try different parameters on your algorithm and give you the final result. So this is AutoML that we have there. And also inside that, we have a virtual machine and also a interaction with Azure Machine Learning Studio. So they are kind of the two different products, but in the backbone, they are going to connect to each other. So in Azure Machine Learning Services, you access to the Python, to the automated machine learning, and also Azure Machine Learning Studio. And lots of new things coming for that one. And what else? What topics will you cover in your session at Past Summit? Okay, I will talk about two things. I will talk about AI for BI people, so how they can use that one, and what scenario they need to follow for better analyzing the customer need and creating better reports for their customer. How they can provide some insight to the future of the data, better analyze the data. And also another session I have for AI for analytics people that actually they are from the business background, how they can use and consume AI and ML there. Beside that, I have a full day workshop about AI in Power Platform and in Power BI. I will talk very deeply through the different approaches that we have in Power BI desktop and in Power BI service. Okay, and the other one that we have, resource that you use. Yep. Yeah, I'm actually using for now. Actually, I'm still learning. So myself also learning a lot about the TensorFlow, about the deep learning. So I have, yes, list of the books that I'm following, and I can share with you if you're interested. So yeah, I have follow also Data Camp sometimes. I will follow the R Blogger. Uh, and also other books. There are lots of really good community in R and Python and machine learning area that can help you through that. Yes, I will able to share that one. Other question. Can you explain the difference between data science, data engineering, and data analysis? That's a really good question. So, data science people actually are the people who they need to know about the models. They need to know about how to gather the data, and also they need to know how about the present the data. They are coming from the background of finding the pattern, natural pattern in the data, and predict based on that. So they are mainly data science jobs. So for the data analysis are the people who currently analyze the current situation of the data for the business user, for better kind of helping the managers to better take decision. So that's a bit different. Maybe they use some of the data science kind of outcome, but they are not actually data science, so they do not need to know algorithm. If they know, it's good, but they are not job about that. They just need to help the manager to get some insight out of the data from the current situation. And data engineering are the people that actually they are really good on working with data in the SQL, in the Power BI query, like Power Query and DAX, and actually they can works with the data, and they know how to gather the data, clean the data, and the other stuff. So it's a bit different, but they are kind of overlap. And of course, what the focus that they have is a bit different. Okay, so we have about 3 minutes and go for another one. So the kind of the last question I will answer. Do I need to learn a statistic to do machine learning? For a start, I said no. You can just start with just knowing the process of the machine learning and how they're working. But maybe gradually that you're going further, you will see that actually for some of the algorithm to know that how they behave and why they behave in a specific way in some sort of the data, but not working in the other, then you may need to know. So for example, for the boosted decision tree is a bit different from the decision forest, and how they work with the data is actually impact on their results. So knowing the statistic behind it sometimes help you to better understand. But to start, I can say no, you can do learn algorithm, just how to use it and which way. But in later stage, yes, is maybe, but not everything about the statistics, just some concepts that related to the machine learning. Okay, so I'm trying to answer about 14 question. Thanks so much for actually joining me and participating in this today past Facebook Live expert. There are other live expert the discussion that already done or they are going to happen, so I'm recommend to go and check them to see the updates about these events, just like the past Facebook. And if you not join of the past org, please join their past. Is really great community. I'm gonna start my speaking kind of journey and become part of the community via past, so I'm really thankful to that. And there you can in touch with the different events and also different actually people who are working the same area happen. There are lots of exciting things about past also happening. Just check the website and the Facebook page. And yeah, we have past summit in is coming in November, and I really recommend to actually check the pre-cons, the sessions that we have. There are good line of the people, experts that we have in different area, from AI to DBA to the cloud to the Power BI and the others. So just check the website there. I'm also will be there delivering 2 sessions and also 1 day pre-con about how we can use AI in Power BI and AI. And yeah, so just be in touch, and yeah, that is all good. So any if you have any other question later on, my email is leila@radacat.com. And also if you have any question, just put the comments here, and after that I can able to answer. So this is all about that, and I hope that you enjoy this session. And thanks so much. Thank you for coming with me. Thanks so much.